Hi, this video introduces you to Omni, which is the library's main search and discovery tool. This video will show you a basic search and how to use Omni's filters to refine your initial results. We'll also make sure that you understand the basic features that you'll find on the Omni results page. Part 2 of this intro video will show you examples of specific types of resources. One note here, the video uses the interface that you'll see on a computer or a laptop. The tablet and phone interfaces will be slightly different. All the features are there, but you may just have to look under menus to find them all. When using Omni, we encourage you to log in to your library account, and if you're off campus, also logging into the library's proxy server. Both of these use your MyCarleton1 login credentials. And the reason for this is that we'll ensure that you get to see all of the features of Omni and get access to all of the resources that the library provides. Once you're logged in, you can do a search. Notice that you can always link to the Omni Help Guide below, or use our Get Help link, which takes you to our live chat or text service. When you're searching, you can type in words or phrases. You can also use the voice activation in either English or French. Now, you can always do more complex searches with our advanced search screen, and that's what our Beyond the Basics video will show. I'm just going to do a pretty basic search, something that is very typical of the way a lot of students start a search. Your search results are shown in order of relevance. You can always change that option, but Omni uses this as the default. And Omni has its own way to figure out the relevance, and they base it on many factors. Now, it's not an exact science, and sometimes you may just be left wondering why on earth Omni thought one source was more relevant than another. So that's one of the reasons that you might want to use the various filters and other features of Omni that'll help you refine your results. Let's look at some of these filters. The availability is going to let you choose how you're going to access the resources. Maybe you're looking specifically for something that's a physical in-print item, or maybe you want something from a peer-reviewed journal, or maybe just anything that's online. These categories are not necessarily mutually exclusive. The other filter that can be very useful is the resource type. So you can see how many different types of resources we have, and if you click on the Show More, you'll get a true sense. So from articles to books to newspaper articles and everything, including videos. And you can select or exclude any of these types of resources. Another very useful filter is the publication date. You can look for items that were published between a certain date, after a certain date, etc. Some of the other filters are not expanded by default when you look at the results. Things like language, the subject, author, and journal title. Now, the subject filter can be particularly useful because it will show you some other subject keywords that are applied to your results. So let's say, as an example, even though I did a search for stress in university students, maybe I specifically want to see just those that deal with anxiety disorders. So I can choose to include them here. You can choose to apply more than one filter at the same time, but the important thing is once you've made your selections, make sure you use the Apply button. And I just wanted to point out a little more clearly the option to include or exclude. So if you check off the box to the left of the filter, you're going to include that, and if you check off to the right, it's specifically going to exclude that item. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm quickly going to select journal, peer-reviewed journals, specifically articles from those peer-reviewed journals and ones that are open access. And I'm going to limit my search to just those published from 2006 to the present. You'll see all of the filters you've selected in the upper left area. Now, you can choose to get rid of any one of those filters by using the little X. You can also reset all of the filters and get rid of them all at the same time. The other thing that you can do is to remember your filters. This is very handy if you might be doing multiple searches during your session and you know that you always want these filters to apply. Now, this will work as long as you do new searches within the search box. The tip here is that the minute you click on the new search option in the top menu, the filters are cleared by default. At this point, you can save your search query if you wanted to, and it will save not only what you searched, but all the filters you applied as well. Our Beyond the Basics video will look at this in much more detail. Now let's have a look at our results themselves. First thing is that you'll always be able to tell, even if you haven't used filters, what type of resource you're looking at, because it will say it in the very top. So in this case, article. Now you may also see some labels, such as the peer-reviewed label and the open access one. Open access simply means it's a resource that's available online, free to anyone, no paid subscription is required. Then finally, what you'll see is how you access the resource. So whether it's available online or whether it's a print item. We'll look now at the icons that you see in the upper right of each of your results. Now, you don't always see every icon for every one of your results. It all depends on the information. So the first one we might see is this sort of upward arrow. This means you can link to any items that actually cite this particular article more recently. The downward arrow will show you basically the list of references for this particular article. The third icon we see here is the citation icon, which are quotation marks. Clicking on this will open up a pop-up window that will allow you to select one of the more commonly used citation styles and get a properly formatted citation. Now I say properly in air quotes because they're not always accurate. In this example, we've chosen the APA style. And if you know APA style, you realize that the title of an article should not have capital letters in front of every word. So this is something you'd have to be careful of and that you would have to correct yourself. The envelope icon allows you to email yourself this result item. And the pushpin icon allows you to add this to your favorites. Clicking on it, you'll see goes up to your favorites area. Finally, in the icon area, you'll see the ellipsis, the three dots. If you click on that, you'll see some more options. So for example, if you use any kind of reference or citation management tool like Zotero or Mendeley or EndNote, you can export in a format that they will recognize. You can also choose to get a permalink, which means like a permanent link that can be used if you want to share this with someone. And finally, there's an option to print. Now these icons are for functions that you can carry out on one result item at a time. If you want to select a group of items and perform some of the same functions, you can do that a number of ways. So first of all, you can use the checkbox at the top of your result list to select all of the items on your screen. The default, though, is to only show you 10 items at a time on the screen. But if you scroll to the bottom of the page, you can select 25 items or 50 items on each screen. You also have the option at the top to always select the top 50 items in your list. If you don't want all of the items on the page, you can simply scroll through your results and tick off the checkbox to the left of each of the results you want to select. Once you've made the selection of items, you can then put them all in your favorites, or if you click on the ellipsis, you'll get other options where you can export your selected items to a citation management tool, or email them in bulk, or print them in bulk. This brings us to the end of our Omni Introduction video Part 1. Don't forget to check out Part 2 to see examples of common types of resources and our Beyond the Basics, as well as our Search Strategies videos. And don't forget, if you need more help, you can use our chat text Ask a Librarian instantly from our homepage, email askthelibrary@carleton.ca, or get in touch with your librarian or subject specialist. You can find us under Research Help.